on the YouTube. Okay. So I hope that I have answered your query. So we'll continue with, where was I? Share screen is still going on, or it's out? Okay.
Pause.
Okay. So we were on the second chapter, second unit. Okay. Uh, okay. If in between you guys are not able to hear me or any kind of issues are there, put it in the chat. I will be just, I will because sometime might happen that because of technical issue you are not able to hear me, or it is getting broken or on like something like that. Just put something in a this thing. I will keep the chat, keeping the chat. I'll keep it checking. Okay. So as I said, the unit number 2 is mainly design of the shaft. There is something called ASME code. Now, what is this ASME code for the shaft, and how you will use that? Come on, Rao. Still, people are getting admitted. I have one personal request. Just if you are interested, try to join in first 5 to 10 minutes. Because after that, see, I can keep you all admitted, but I want to see who is joining when. So as I said, just make sure that you are getting admitted first 10 minutes. So for the shaft,
ठीक है जब भी highlight arrow.
somebody is, I have forgot to keep someone on mute, so other people are getting disturbed. So for the shaft, there are two bases. As I said, torsional means we will be using. There are two equations. We know there is equation of torsion, and we will be using those two equations. Whatever we learned in the strength of material, uh, those two failures, will be having a torsional rigidity and will be having lateral rigidity. So using those two, we'll be designing the shaft. And if we get different diameters, then we'll use the diameter which is more, so which is with which we can have a safe design. So what are those two equations and how to use those and how to use two different bases? We'll see once we go into chapter. But we'll also go through the ASME code for the shaft, and there's something called transmission shaft. We'll see that. We don't need to worry about the numerical of that. And then design of keys. For in the shafts, we have keys and splines. So we'll have a design of those design of key, and how to design the key, how to make sure that it doesn't fail. So we'll see a design of that. And in the end of this unit, we'll see design of flange coupling. These couplings are there to transmit the rotary motion. We'll be using the coupling. So what is flange coupling and what is boost coupling, flexible boost coupling? We'll see that those two in the end of this chapter, unit number 2. Okay. So now unit number 3, fluctuating load. So whatever design we are doing, we are assuming that the load is fixed. Load is not fluctuating. It is not changing. Okay. So to make sure that this our design is because sometimes load is not like in the plane the load is not fixed. Load might change, or vehicle with the say if we get faces kind of a bumpy road, then our regular design will not suffice. So for that we need to work on the something called as fluctuating load. So we need to know, because of this bumpy or because of this continuous fluctuating or the cycles, what kind of stresses happen. We will try to understand what are different stresses because of the bumpy, or because of you guys can hear me, right? Okay, if you are not able to hear me, just put that in the chat. I'm hoping that everything is going fine. Okay. So we'll try to see what are different stresses we will face in real life, like the fluctuation, like or the cycles, and then depending on those, then we'll have to try to understand what are the different stresses and how we can come out, or we can how we can work out on those stresses and have a better design. So for that, we need to know what are the fluctuating stresses, what are the SN curve, what is endurance limit, what is North sensitivity. So first few lectures we'll try to go through the concept of fluctuating load and concept of stress concentration. And once we know that, then we will try to have a design on that. For that, this Soderbergh, Gerber, Goodman diagrams we'll be using, and using those diagrams, we'll try to have a design. Now, in the exam, generally we'll get in this unit, theoretical questions will get more, and also numerical will be on these diagrams. Soderbergh diagram and Gerber and Goodman diagram. On those we'll be getting numerical equations. Okay, unit number 4, power screws. So whatever screws we are using is threads, threaded elements we use like screws, nut bolts.
शायद
If
सलाम चौक पे नंदनवन पहुंच जाएंगे उसके बाद माउंट रोड है मेरे ख्याल से
I can hear just see that I have muted participant. If I don't know if anyone is unmute because what happens, some people who they joins late now, they are unmuted for some time. So because of that, we are getting this kind of disturbance. So unit number 4, nut and bolts, but these will be carrying the load. So these will be carrying power. So how to design those load? Because generally nut bolts they will be having a stress on that, but when they have to take a power like a screw jack, the screw we are going to use in the screw jack, it will be taking the load of the whole vehicle. So to design that, it will be having a separate different design. So for that we need to understand what are first threads, what are the multiple screws, what is the torque analysis, how we will find out the torque on that working torque which is applied on the screws. Then something called self-locking screw. In the jack, we need to have a self-locking screw, because if it is not self-locking, it will fail and it will be hazardous. So something called self-locking screw will try to go through. Collar friction torque. This is something extra component we have to add while doing the design. So once we have this concept of what are the different threads, what are the different types of screws, what is the self-locking screw, then we'll do the actual design of screws. Like one we use in the C clamp. We use C clamp in the workshop to hold when we are working on some material. To hold that material, we use C clamp. So the bolt nut bolt we use in the C clamp is a power screw. So design of that we'll do. Similarly, we'll do a design of a jack screw. Then we'll have a differential and compound screw. Okay, and then recirculating ball screw. This is only theoretical part. We don't will not concentrate on that that much, but mainly screw jack and C clamp. So we will have a project or sheet on this screw jack. So the design of these power screws, once theoretical part is done, mainly these two, screw jack and C clamp will be done. Okay, next is unit number 5, threaded joints and welded joints. So we have seen now power screws, but now we'll see what is threaded joint and what is welded joints. So you guys know what is a threaded joint. We use nut bolt for a threaded joints. To join two different components, we use nut bolts, and sometimes we use welded joints also. So this is half is given to welded joints, half is given to threaded joints. So again, we need to know what are the fastener, means what is a nut and bolt, what is their nomenclature, what is their strength. All those things will be covered in the basic thing, and then we will do couple of designs. Means if something is we are hanging something with say 6 screws, how the load is distributed and how the torque is calculated. Say like a lamp or something, you are putting a lamp on your home with 6 screws, so how the load is will be calculated and how that fastener will work. So this thread will not take any power. It will be simply used as a fastener. The design of this will be different. So all will do eccentric load. Eccentric means load is not directly on the bolt, it is outside the center CG of the nut and bolt. So that eccentric loading will do. The welding symbols, then we'll go with the welded joints part. In that we'll try to understand what is welded joints, what is welding symbol, what are different types of welds. Then once we know that, then what is how to calculate the strength and stresses in the welded joint, and depending on that we'll have a design of welded joint. Again, in this also mainly we'll be concentrating on the eccentric load, because generally welded joints are they are eccentrically loaded. I mean, they are loaded not at the CG of the welded joint, but the outside of the that. So for that we'll do a design of how to what kind of stresses and torque will be there on the welded joints. We'll try to see that, and then we'll do the design of that. And lastly, the springs. What design of springs means spring we use in the pen to the springs we use in a vehicle or the suspension. All those these springs will try to will get to know those. what are different types of springs and what are the applications and what are the materials we use for the spring. So with that, once we know the material, we'll know the strength and different kind of constants we will get to know, and then using those we'll do the design. Then stress deflection, then what different types of ends, because different end will have a end means at the end of the spring what kind of shape is there. So depending on that, your design will change. So then we'll see the helical and tension spring. These are two different springs we have. So the helical and tension springs, we'll see that also. Uh, then we'll see series in parallel. When we put springs in series and springs in parallel, means if we put springs one after another, those will become in springs in series. And when we put springs parallel to each other, those become springs in parallel. So like if we have two springs, one inside the other, that is a type of parallel spring. So the design of those springs, how the stresses and design of those, means the stress, strains, all those things will be done in the unit number 6. The last thing is a multi-leaf spring. I don't know whether you know the leaf spring in the heavy vehicles like truck. At the end, we don't use the general helical spring or normal spring or compression spring. We use leaf spring there because it has a more load carrying capacity. So we'll be using those, and then the helical torsion spring, that's only theoretical part. But multi-leaf spring, we have to do a design also. Okay, so that is what we will try to cover in unit number 6. Okay, so this is how the syllabus will look like, and we'll try to cover as much as means the whole syllabus I will try to cover. And if any guys any questions till now, ask me in the next 1 minute. Then otherwise, if there is no question, then I will go ahead with the this thing introduction. Means I will not start the unit, but just give the what is design. We'll try to understand that. Okay. So I am giving you 1 minute. In between, I am taking a screenshot of the attendance who are the participant, and after 1 minute, I will start ahead with the introduction. Okay, so I am done with the attendance. Okay, so I will go ahead with the now introduction. Means this is not actual unit. I'm not starting any unit. I just want to make sure that we are utilizing our time. We have still have 10 minutes, so we'll try to see and try to utilize it. Okay. Now, what is basically machine design? We'll try to understand that. Now, as I said in here, it's what is design is basically decision making process. Means in the whole design process, all the time basically you are making decisions. You are the person who is going to make decisions for someone else or for yourself. Like say I will give a requirement that I need to design something, and then once you get that picture, then you will try to work on the from the very first problem to the very last problem. All those problems you will try to get some answer, and you will be making decisions. Like say if take a, in the sheet I am mentioning that take a design of a chair. So if I say I want to design a chair, then you very first thing you will be asking yourself is like you will start asking questions. Okay, in between, recording will be available on YouTube. Yes, recording will be Ravi Dabange's question. Recording will be available on the YouTube. Sir, could you share password of Google Classroom? Okay. I haven't created a Google Classroom. We had last year's classroom. So I need to just update this thing there. So don't worry about that. I will be sharing my Google Classroom. I will upload it on the YouTube, and then I will be sharing this on Google Classroom also. So don't worry about that. Okay. So design of a chair. So once I ask you what is okay, give me a design a chair for me. So you cannot go and start the design. You will be having some basic questions like, okay, the chair is fine, but what is the purpose of, or where you are going to use it? Are you going to use it in the office for your sitting, or somebody elderly person is going to use it for the leisure, or a school kid will be going to use it for school attendance, or it is going to be used in a garden. So depending on the application, design will change. Office chair will be properly, sitting position should be proper. Then your the eyes, the location of your where it is going, it should be in front of the screen. For the kids, the size will be small. The material will be different. For the garden chair, material will be different because it has to it will remain in there in the winter, summer, all that. For a office chair will be different. A chair in the classroom will be different. So depending on the application, your chair will have a different what you can say design. So first question is, where is you are going to use it? So depending on that, once you know that, then you will know what is the size, shape you need, what is the material you need. Then it is used to be for a male, female, because female might have a different, or kids might have a different design for compared to adult. Then because for kids, like say you can use a plastic chair because weight will not be that much. But for adult, you say okay, you have a metal chair, or plastic chair will be, you will use this thing of plastic chair will be used a little bit thick chair, so that strength is more. So like that, once you know what is the application, then you will have a infinite number of questions, and you will try to get answer to those questions, like what is the application, what is the type, what is the material. And once we are done with those, then you will come up with the more, means advanced the part of the design is aesthetic. Now your chair is designed, but now how can we make it more comfortable? Because chair everybody will be designed, but extra things, aesthetics, more luxury you are giving, those will determine whether you will be able to sell your chair. Because designing is one part of it, but now then so like if you go in a market, you will get so many cars. So how you will differentiate between, okay, I want this car, this car, this car, is the aesthetics, how it will look, the color, the finish. So all cars will run, all will have approximately same average, but you will be have a different choice depending on the finish, depending on the aesthetic. So that part will come later on, once you are done with the design. As I said, a decision making, when we took an example of chair, we were making decision at every stage. Like from the very start, you ask me question, then till the very end, until you are satisfied. Are you satisfied? Is it okay? You will be asking the questions, and you will be making decisions. Okay. I took an example of car. We already talked about it. Like say, if you go to any vendor, or two different, Maruti will be having one car, and almost in the same price you will be having a different Crown from Mahindra. So how you will make the decision? Because some people will say, okay, this car is better, some people will say this car is better. So people perspective will change depending on the aesthetic. So you there will be so many factors you need to worry while doing the design. And as a designer, you will be doing that, means from the first of all, it should work fine, it should not fail. And once all those things work fine, then it should look better. Okay. So this is how the design will work. And once we know, as I say, in the case of car, once we know what is the car or what is the purpose, then you will see what is the uh, what is the capacity, or what is the engine should be 800 cc, 1000 cc, 1200 cc. So because on the, like say, if your car is going to be used in the mountain, then your engine should be more powerful, or four-wheel drive should be there. So like that, depending on the application, we will be having a different design. And if we fail in the whole process, if you are making a bad decisions, then it will affect your the design, and ultimately it will affect your product. So you have to make sure that whatever design you are doing, you are making good decision. If bad decision is there, you have to revert back and make it correct. Because while doing the design, you will get to know, okay, this is not working, it is failing. Then you have to again go back, change the something in the previous step, and again come up with a better design. So this is how the design loop will work. Okay, and in this, actually, this design cycle is applicable everywhere. But in this subject or for this our lectures, we will mainly work with the machine design of the machine components. As I said, we'll be having this is only for one part. We'll be having so many different elements we'll be designing, and then next year in the final year, you'll be putting all those things together to have a MSD subject in the fourth year. You will be having a system design, means you will be designing small like gear, springs, all those small parts you will design shaft, and then you will put those together in the MSD, mechanical system design, to have a system. Means to have a system, you need to have a small parts, and those small parts you have to design first, and then you have to put them together as an assembly, and then you have to do a design of assembly. So all those things you will will try to get to know those elements in this year, and next year we will try to put them together. Okay, so mainly we'll work on the machine component parts, machine small elements of the machine. Okay, as I said, as whatever in the syllabus, we'll try to go ahead with small different elements of the machine, step by step. We'll go through the first basic elements, then we'll go through shaft, springs, then nut bolts, power screw. So we'll try to have some element design in the this machine DME, design of machine elements, one subject. Okay, so I think that's all for today. As I said, I'm not going to from first lecture, means from tomorrow, day after tomorrow's lecture, we'll try to go in the actual design. In the first couple of lectures, I will try to go through concepts. What is design cycle? What is strain? Because those will need. What is rigidity? What is modulus of rigidity? All those things we will need in our our design. So I will try to go through those in the first few lectures, couple of lectures, and then once we have a basic concept ready, what is strength, rigidity, all those things we know, because you guys are comfortable, what is the standards, what are the materials, then we will go ahead with the actual design, and we'll do a couple of small designs like uh, I think we have quarter joint, knuckle joint. Okay, so these are the basic designs we'll do. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture. Anybody is having any kind of query, you can shoot me in the chat. I'm checking the chat now. Any question is there, please ask me there. Okay, I'm giving you a couple of more minutes for the questions to be answered, and then we will call it a day for today's lecture. Okay, I have taken one more attendance to make sure that everybody is attendance. Everybody has in my attendance they are there. Okay, in the chat, any question? Sometime your voice is breaking. Okay, so for that I have a solution. Can you share a PPT or material? Okay, I'll try to answer both questions. I will be having a PPT. I will make a PPT. Means as for introduction, I have made a PPT, and I will be sharing those PPT with you on our Google Classroom. Okay, so because there is no point in sharing, and WhatsApp I will simply use for the communication, like when the lecture is there, who what happened, what syllabus we covered. Okay, for that I will use WhatsApp. But for presentation material, assignments and videos, I will upload the videos on YouTube, as I did for my last subject I took. Every subject will be every means I'll put the lecture number one, unit one, lecture one, unit one, lecture two, like that. Unit one will be having 8 lectures. So I will upload all those 8 lectures on YouTube, and share the links of those YouTube on your WhatsApp as well as on your Google Classroom. So voice breaking issue will not be there because video will be available. Means if you are not, somehow you are not able to hear on live, you can later on go and check the video on YouTube. Yes, I will be sharing it on the Google Classroom. Okay. Any question? I think I have tried to answer Avinash and Kanchan's question. That everything, videos, PPT, and material will be available on the Google Classroom. Videos will be uploaded from my side on the YouTube, and I will share the links on the Google Classroom. Okay. You don't worry. You will get to know all those as we go. There will not be any issue on that. So you will be able to see my lecture later on. Okay. Any other question? If it is not there because we have 2 more minutes, after that I think automatically it will be disconnected. So any other question is not there? Okay. Thank you, Avinash. I will assume that everything went fine for today's lecture, and I will try to upload it on the YouTube and share the link with you guys. Okay. Thank you all, and take care.